So I want to know how bad the weather conditions are going to have to be for us to call a game.
Whenever you're ready, for me, I can go ahead.
Oh, okay, yeah, I guess we're good. Let me make sure this is done.
I haven't seen him try to
Oh,
join.
yeah, keys on it. Yeah, so we'll go ahead. We can, what do we need to do with him? Get him?
Is he
I
on?
don't think it does look like it. He said he was probably realistically looking at 4:15.
And this is Jesse Ramos. I'll just reach out to him. Yeah, I can just reach out and we can do it virtually.
Okay, in that case.
Jane, you did play this morning. I did play. No, just
All right.
now.
And-
Oh, good for you.
Hey, guys, real quick, as you all know, we now that we got everybody in place, we have to do the swearing in and do all that again. So she's here to take care of that. So
Okay.
turn it over to you.
Yeah, I'm Joe Hensley. I'm the deputy city clerk for the city of Wichita, and I'm just here to do your oath of office and swearing in. We're required by the state of Kansas to have this on file on record. If we're ever poured for this. And so we're gonna do this today. There are 3 sheets of paper that I'm gonna hand to you. The first 2 sheets of paper I need for you to sign and hand back to me. The 3rd sheet is yours to keep. It shows when you're, it's kind of a certificate if you need it for any credits or anything like that, or if you need to know when your appointment expires. That's on that certificate. If you don't want it, you can hand that back to me as well. Okay? Just hand that to you, so please sign the first 2 sheets of paper. Sometimes I go back and only one is wrong.
Yeah.
So if the address is incorrect or you want to correct the information, you can do that as well. Do you need a
I
pen?
do if you have one. I would borrow one.
There is a place for me to sign and fill out the date, and I'll do that when I collect them. Thank you.
Here you go, dear.
Now, we recycle everything.
That's very good.
The swearing in, I'll put that in.
Okay.
I put the date, yeah.
Jesse, been playing it all.
A lot.
Thank you.
I went to Vegas last week and then I had buddies coming to town this weekend. We played every day.
When's playing Vegas?
Are you?
Hi, thank you. We were today, yeah, we played the snow and sun.
And then if I can have your attention, and if you'll raise your right hand and just repeat after me, we're gonna state the oath of office. If you can put it handy just in case I say it many times, but just in case I forget. I state your name,
Alexander.
solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States
States.
and the Constitution of the State of Kansas, and I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Gulf Board of Governors
And I will faithfully discharge the duties of the Board of Governors.
for the city of Wichita, Kansas, so help me God. Thank you. And that is it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll call the meeting to order. And first thing is officer elections, I guess. So, we had Mike as president and I was vice or whatever. So I think, are those the only 2 seats that we need to confirm, basically? Yeah. Yes. So anybody interested in wanting to be the president or vice president?
Volunteer to be the vice president.
That's up to you.
I'll do it if nobody else wants it, but if somebody else wants to do it, I'd be happy to, jump in.
I don't mind being the president, but I don't know about being gone 3 months of the year. I don't know about running meetings from a distance.
Randy, you've already got a little experience being vice, so.
Yeah, natural progression. I'll do it next year.
I'm fine either way. It's not really a big deal, so.
I nominate Randy.
There you go.
Randy hates me now.
Okay, so all those in favor of me taking the president chair and Jake taking the vice chair? Vote aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries.
Hey, Jesse.
Wait, does Jesse want to be president?
Oh, yeah.
Jesse, do you want to be
You just got elected
president?
president.
No,
Well, that's. So the background is like mouse.
I'm good.
Okay, moving right along, announcements. Does anybody have any announcements that they want to throw
I
in,
would have been,
talk about? Yes.
would have been John, I demanded to go down.
I second that.
That's the first topic I had written down for announcements. Obviously, a lot of you probably heard that a lot of the courses in the area went cart path only. I know of, I think 6 courses that have done that. That's next to impossible for us, but it just shows how much stress around the golf courses. I've been and looked at several courses in the area and I mean, it is what it is. There's a lot of burnout. We need rain in the worst way. We need cooler temperatures. So all in all, I feel like we're holding up pretty well. It could be a lot worse, and every day I kind of expect it to get a little worse, and we're holding on, but we need some rain really bad. So I wanted to kind of open this up and see, I've been more driving the courses I've played here, played text, but if you guys have seen any major issues while playing,
I mean, this has just been incredibly harsh. So, I mean, at this point, just letting things go dormant, like it's hard for to do anyway. Is about all you can do. And then keeping the areas that you can water
Right.
grates and tee boxes. I don't know what else you can do.
yeah, at Sim, of course, we're getting ready to do
You're
that
doing it right.
conversion, so it looks worse. That's on purpose. Or it's an unfortunate side effect of what we're doing on purpose. So I have had people reach out, like, this place is done. Well, there's a giant sign that you walk by when you walk in to check in that we talked about that, but the greens there are extremely healthy. The root system, we had someone come out. I mean, the root system went from this to literally, it's about that deep now. So, but yeah, just, we're doing what we can with the water. Of course, Mac, we're on city water at this point. The ponds are dry, so every day we're spending a lot of money on water. And we're doing just what you said. We're trying to water what we have to. But it's doesn't look. I mean, some of the areas away from the fairways, as you get out, are obviously crispy and starting to turn a little bit. But all in all, they're doing a pretty decent job. I feel like.
Yeah, I don't know. There's not much you can do. It's, I did hear Cherry Oaks up here wearing cart path only, and like you said, I think a couple of us have as well.
I was at Round Hills today. They've been that way for about a week. Quail Ridge.
Willow Bend's trying to, but they can't keep a couple of cops.
Yeah.
It would be the same kind of problem we would have. I mean, if you don't have a marshal out there all the time.
Yeah. So, I mean, hopefully we get a little bit of relief before we get to the point where we have to try to do that. I just don't see how we can have any success trying to go carpet on. They're either not going to play or they're just going to ignore us and do what they want anyway. So anyway, just want to, we're keeping, keeping tabs on all the other courses of what they're doing. I feel like we're in is about the same, realistically, same shape as everybody else. But the cart path only is a lot of the courses are doing that. I just don't know how we could really be successful. We could try it if it starts getting worse and this continues for another month, which unfortunately, you look at the forecast, I don't know, there's really.
It sounds and is pretty elementary, but we've done it and it's helped more than you would have thought. We bought some extra 90-degree signs and put them in more spots.
Yeah.
So
Cheaper than
Yeah.
some other options.
So
There's obviously still gonna be people that don't do it, but if you get 75%, do it.
extra reminder, okay, yeah. I've seen some courses up in Kansas City that have like 2 white markers here and then 2 white markers like 30 yards from the green. And where the white markers are is where you enter onto the fairway and where you exit off of the fairway. And they're like Bermuda fairways. So those hold up pretty good in the heat. I mean, they're warm with the grass, so those do real well. And I think it cuts down on the amount of driving through the rough, which really is what takes a beating right now, I think, at least what I've seen. But I don't know if that's possible to do something like that either, where you limit where people.
That's what they do at Flint. I mean, it's strict and it's, I mean, you could almost just mulch those areas, make them permanent, not even have any stress on your rough.
Yeah, I've seen places they move the entrance and exit points, but then there's kind of a double-edged sword. Is it better to just have one spot that we know is gonna be wore out, or
I think that's.
wear this out for a few weeks? And yeah, we could look at that. I could talk to the supers. I know with the limited time they have and how busy we are, they don't like stuff in the way. They want to be able to get on that mower and just go because they have such a short window to mow. So they're probably not going to be in favor of that, but you know, we
Good thing is, we're almost to the end of August here, so
Yeah.
hopefully in September we'll get some kind of a break.
So anyway, bringing that up just to, obviously we're tracking it, we're doing what we can. Randy, I know you had sent an email asking about an update on the wait list or standby feature. We had it with CPS. So I talked to them today, but I had a big long call with them this morning with their new software member sports, and that is still slated for a fall. It didn't come out as quick as they wanted. It's slated for a fall release. He said 100% by next season it'll be there. The thing is, we could do a different thing, but they all require contracts, and it's about $4,000 to $5,000 per course. So if we could just get through this season, it'll be in place for next season. I was hoping it would already be there. They have had a lot of releases even since we've got the software, but this one not quite out yet. Yeah.
I know another thing that, and I hear several people talk about this that are booking tee times. When you go in to book a tee time, let's just say hypothetically, you get up early, you want to go in and book a tee time, and the first one you hit on, you don't get because somebody else got in front of you or whatever. When it kicks you back in there, it takes all of your filters out of there where you have to go back in and reset all your filters if you want to play it. Like I want to play McDonald or this course or that course or whatever. A lot of people are wondering if there's any way that they can make it to where the filters stay there so that it just goes back and say, okay, I didn't get the 8 o'clock tee time. Now I can look at maybe the 8:10 or the 8:20 or whatever. So it still filters how they want it to
You will
filter.
lose 10 tee times by the time you put the filter back in.
Yeah.
By the time you get back in, it's 11 a.m.
Okay.
So he did tell me today, he wants to set up a meeting with our staff and for us to get together probably next week, for this week, for us to get together and write down everything that we've heard, every suggestion, things that we see. And they kind of want to use us as, they want to have their development team on to just say what's working, what's not working, what could be improved. He did say we are of all their courses they have so far, we are the fastest. Like as far as our tee times, the reserve rate, he had a word for it, whatever. We are their number one. So it's
I don't know,
There you go.
at least we want to win.
What have been since it's been live for a while? Has it been pros, cons, the new?
I like it. Only the last 2 months, if I hear something, it's a one-off. It's some GL code wasn't set right. We realize it, fix it. It's good to go. There were some kinks with and it was just a setup issue with the range pad or the range buckets, the buy 10, get 2 free, whatever. Being able to use those, but I think we're kind of have most of that worked out. Part of that was with CPS. You couldn't get a report to show who had what. So when we tried to transfer it, we basically just gave everybody buckets that we could find. But anyway, all in all, I like it. I think staff's gotten pretty used to it. They're quick with it. I don't know, they call Trevor a lot when there are issues, so maybe you could speak to those a little more, but
I've been pretty impressed with the software, the team we've been working with, to be honest. They're pretty responsive, and if they don't have an answer, they get one back to us pretty quickly. the biggest thing for me and the calls I receive is kind of teaching. A lot of people are really used to what they're used to do, and it's not quite the same. So once we get them right on the right pathway to what they are trying to get to, they 9 times out of 10 are good to go.
I
So
mean, most of the time the response when you show them is, oh, well, that's much easier. So I guess it is.
So they're pretty responsive to making modifications, upgrades.
Yeah, and I'm excited about this call next week, but anything we've needed so far, it's they take it, we have one developer that's kind of dedicated to Wichita, and he's pretty quick to figure something out for us, so. And the last program, I would still be waiting on a call back from April, so, yeah, it's much better. So yeah, I think all in all, I love it on the back end, stuff that I have to look at the reporting and all that. It's so way better. So I'm ready for next year because right now we switched on May 13th. So when I'm looking at year numbers, I have half of them that come from the old system. And I'm ready to get past that where I can just run one report and be done. But now all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. One other announcement, we have our Ladies' Day coming up and Sydney's kind of taking the lead on that, so I'm gonna let you talk about some things.
Yeah, I just had a couple updates. So September 26th is Ladies' Day at the First Tee Building at McDonald. And I have a few vendors secured so far. Wichita Brewing Company will be there. Body Bar is gonna do like a group stretch before everybody goes out for the free 9-hole tournament. Shot Suite. There's a girl that's gonna do permanent jewelry. Recover Wellness, they're gonna offer like IV treatments and like she said some other more holistic healing type of stuff they're gonna do and some compression stuff they were gonna bring. Stretch Life just confirmed, so they'll do free stretches for everybody that comes. And then I have TBD about 60-second grips and this lady out of Andover called 3570 Golf Co.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I'm trying to secure her, but I've heard so many good things about her and their brand.
It's a great company.
Yeah, so hopefully have them. They do like, she makes clothing and does embroidery and stuff, so really cool.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah.
Now I've got two of the girls players from Friends University are going to come and do some clinics. So, you know, some female instructors I've heard some of our instructors from the feedback from the past, they taught more speed training and ground floor and just stuff that some of the ladies, it's not what they're interested in. So I've got some female instructors coming out to help with that. So if you don't know what we do, it's about 2 hours we do games, clinics, all kind of stuff, and then we roll straight into a 9-hole scramble. It's free for the ladies, and we've had a great turnout. It's been a lot of fun. So we did have to push it back. If you look in the golf guide, I think it said it was on the 19th. We found out that's Crestviews member guest, I think, ladies member guest or something. So
That's Crestviews. That's what.
I think that's what I was told. Yeah. So we didn't want to compete with that, so we pushed it back a week.
Understand.
Yeah.
So the 26th. But yeah.
Yeah, so looking forward to that. And then the last thing, it's not really to do with us, but it's a pretty neat deal. On September 12th, Saturday, I think, the Heritage Classic. It's the pro ladies tournament at Rolling Hills on the 12th. They're gonna have clinics for young female golfers that are looking for advice on how to get to college golf. They got a thing from at 11:30 called the Road to College Golf. It's the Road to College Golf panel. And they've got some coaches and different people that are going to talk on that. And then right after that, at 1 o'clock, they've got a kind of a mentoring and golf themed seminar, I guess, called Her Drive, Her Future. And I've got a lot of our junior players that I'm going to take there. I'm going to sit in because I get those questions all the time. Like, hey, my daughter or my son wants to go to the next level. What advice do you have? So it's going to be, I'm excited to kind of sit in and just be a fly on the wall and listen to that. So if you know anybody that falls in a young female that's looking to possibly try to go to the next level with that, it should be a pretty neat deal. It's free. So it'll be at Rolling Hills. That's on the 12th. First clinic is at 11:30. So pretty neat deal they're doing this year.
To go back to the Ladies Appreciation Day, I know you guys have marketed it pretty well on our website stuff. Have you done anything with WAGA?
Not yet.
Full man with WAGA, because they'll do that for you.
Yes, and we need to get with them,
Yes.
but But yeah, I would like to have them
Dave,
be there like we were last year.
you don't know, we're talking about that tomorrow.
Oh.
So-
Now I know.
Yeah, we did that last year. We tried to get out log in different groups and ladies clubs. or
Yeah.
help them.
I mean, they have a full mailing list of every ladies club and
Right.
nothing else that they can send out, so
Yes.
they'd be glad to help you with that.
Yep.
I don't know who you're talking to, but
Um,
Joe Kramer,
yes.
Arnold Lindenmeyer, too.
Well,
Joe Craven.
yeah, I think I put the one in email last year. Yeah. Anything else?
We talked earlier, I think it was a couple months ago, about going cashless at the first of next year, starting in 2027. Are we gonna kind of blast that out and make everybody aware
Starting, so yeah,
of why we're doing it and how it's gonna benefit and
we've already built an entire, it's a 90-day campaign, so it's gonna be a little more than 90. We're starting on September 5th. We're gonna blast it in every possible way, just in your thing, talk about the reasons behind it, how it'll work. So for the start dates and all that too.
I mean, I've been telling people that I see out here, but a lot of people don't know about it and it's kind of a shock to them. And I think
we
we can get ahead of it.
We haven't put that out on purpose, just because we wanted to get all the details down. So that's why September 5th, we're working with auditing and all that. We set a 90-day campaign to push that out, and it's actually going to be close to 120 days. But yeah, we've got it all laid out. So every week we've got the schedule through the end of the year. So yeah, and then since you brought that up, I'll go ahead and talk one other thing that kind of will go. It's different, but I'm doing it at the same time. Is starting on the first of the year, I'm looking at if a member books a tea time online, no change, but a non-member just booking a green fee will have to enter a credit card at the time of booking, and they won't be charged. There's no fee or anything, but if they no show, we can charge that credit card. There'll be a disclaimer that'll pop up. City of Denver does it with Member Sports, our system right now. And if there's a no show, which happens a lot, and we're just out that money and out that tea time, we can just hit their credit card, and they've already agreed that that's true. They have a window to close, to cancel. And obviously if they call and there's an emergency, we'll have some leniency, but we have so many people now, and it makes a problem that everybody fighting for tea times. And then they go and you're like, well, you just sent a twosome and you got another twosome behind them. They don't know that they were booked with a fivesome and they just didn't show. And it's very bad optics. And it's hard to get people to understand.
Yeah.
So
We had the marshal come up Saturday, we just started, I think we were on the second or third hole. But the marshal came back and said, yeah, we got two singles up here, and then we got a twosome behind them. And then we got foursome and then twosome. And I just think, God, we could have so many more people playing golf if we could just fill them up and. But
Saturday morning, I know there were two twosomes that on the back that went on. They were only playing 9, and they were like, if you're only playing 9, just go now. We talked to maintenance. So we actually got 2 extra singles up that we wouldn't have had. So I don't know if that's the 2 he was talking about.
No, these were-
I was actually. Okay. Okay.
they went down.
Okay.
But anyway,
Is there gonna be, if you book a foursome and 3 show up, or you get charged for 4? Is it gonna just be a flat out no show?
So I called Denver to ask him what he did. And he said for the first 2 months, I was a stickler. I charged full rate for any time that was not used. He said, and I started very strong and very strict, and I've kind of backed down, but I was trying to get the point across, and he said it worked. No shows
Is
and
it
dropped.
24-hour notice or 48 or?
Probably 24. Yeah. 4 weeks, I mean, it could go 48. Things happen, so,
I only text non-members.
yeah, members. If they no show and not being a member with a $50 green fee, there's no looks about it. So I'm going to start with just, if you're a member, when you log into Member Sports, it's going to recognize that it won't show up. That window won't pop up and ask for it. But if you're a non-member, it'll ask for that credit card. Here's a pop up. I could pull it up, but it basically just says, here's our cancellation policy. You have to hit acknowledge and accept before you can go to the booking window to book the ticket.
Now, members already have the credit card on record generally, so we're not gonna charge them for no shows.
Right now, we do you lose the booking privileges, but we can talk about it here. I don't know. I think it's no different. You're taking a tea time, but
Right.
when you got somebody paying a membership and then you start hitting them with a no show, that's gonna go sideways pretty
And
quick.
it's gonna get hit, it's gonna hit the guy that books the tea time, probably
Right.
not the guy that didn't show up.
Right.
Yeah, if those numbers were like eye popping, maybe, but I don't know, I guess I don't know how bad that is with members, but
It's a lot of what you're saying. They book 4 and then show up at 2. That happens a lot. Yeah. So then the person at the counter is like, they didn't really no show, so we just lose the
Yeah.
team.
it's a tricky one.
I want to start with the general public, Green Pea players, and then we could kind of tweak from there. It's kind of my plan, so. It's kind of,
Jesse,
yeah,
I have to say, I had that same issue this last weekend. We had 4 guys. I booked 4. 1 hour before I get a call from these guys, say, hey, 2 guys, I can't make it. So I call immediately and say, hey, I've got to drop 2 guys. And I felt bad because it was within an hour, just because we could book those spots with somebody else. We did go off on the front with 2, but about 5-6 holes we caught up 2 guys, and then we paired up. So
Yeah.
It's one of those things. What do you do? I mean, I had no intention of 2 guys canceling. I mean, that was
Right.
and happened. So I don't know.
I think that's not gonna be tough to do because you're gonna hit the guy that booked it, not the guy that didn't show.
Right.
That he's gonna be upset because he was there.
And Kent, you were on number 5. You and Greg, you guys were playing. So we were getting ready to tee off. Just want you to know I saw you out there.
I thought they missed the ponytail.
No, I saw the orange shorts is what it was, Kent. So don't try to.
Oh, yesterday the orange
wasn't
shorts.
it? So
I didn't think orange was that bad of a color. I got a lot of comments. It's almost deer hunting season. I didn't want to get shot.
That wait list reminder or whatever, once that goes live, would help too with.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, and that's what he said at Denver too. Said if they can fill it, then you're off the hook. But if they don't, you're getting paid. Yeah, which that's kind of out of your control, but still, it's.
And that'll be explained in the acknowledgement.
Yeah, but the more time they give you to fill it, then, I mean, that would incentive to them. When, as soon as they know, to do something.
You just don't want to deter those people. That's good money.
Right. I mean, just get them to understand, hey, just need you to be a little bit responsible. That's all we're asking.
Yeah.
Like, please come play, but if you're gonna not show, just let us know. That's all we're asking.
Right.
Anyone on that subject? Nope. Okay, moving along, public comments. Any public comments today? The minutes from the last meeting. I got a chance to go over them. Did everybody else get an opportunity to look at them?
Move to accept as submitted.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries to approve the minutes. Financial update.
All right, we'll go through the typical numbers here. Of course, this goes through July, does not have August. Rounds are a little bit down from last year. We started really strong, and then, of course, at MAG, we had other work for the first of the year, and then we've had went from rain for whatever that stretch of weeks, and now it's 1,000 degrees for 60 days in a row. So down a little bit overall, not too bad. Really, when you look at the month of July where it was so hot, that's 5,000 up front there. We were definitely down in July just because of the heat we had. Every day was full until that around noon, and then we had breaks in the afternoon when it was 105. I'm not playing that. So that's as expected. Cart rentals are up almost 100 grand this year. So we're doing really strong from a financial standpoint on the carts. The cart fund is very, very strong, doing good. Talking about carts in a minute. Food and beverage is almost flat year over year. Down that many rounds and still, pretty consistent where we were at last year. Fairly happy with that. Of course, we want to do more, but you got to have people to do it. We're hitting that part of the year right now where we've hit it, where a lot of our staff are leaving to go back to school and so forth. So we still have the business, but our staff just went down 30% probably with people leaving. So this is where
Auburn, that's kind of
what's that?
significant.
Yeah, we're not doing as many banquets and stuff with the staff. You try to put a wedding reception back here when there's 220 people with that people, it's impossible. So I think we make up for it in the pro shop, but we definitely have dropped some on it. Year-to-date driving ranges are, as you all see, they're just bonkers and they continue to go out of control. We did just get new range balls at all 3 courses last week, I believe, so they were starting to get pretty bored. So yeah, $210,000 on the year. Merchandise sales are up a little bit over last year, which is a good sign. And the total revenue for the year for July, we did 821,000. So even though we were down, the revenue was really strong. I think last year we did, should put that on here. I think about 835. I believe we're down just a tick, so not too bad. Still for the year, we're up $268,000 in revenue. Our expenses, I just got the thing today. I didn't have time to get it out to you. The financial statement from the city. Our expenses are up, payroll's up a little bit, and then some of the things we've done is the cost of fuel. We did get hit with, this is kind of frustrating. All the fuel goes through our fleet in the city, the fleet department, and Mac did not get charged. I guess there was a billing issue, which we don't see last year. So we just got hit with $44,000, and that is back paid for fuel from last year and what we've used this year. So as soon as I saw that, I start calling and figure out that's what happened. So and then having to use obviously some water in the last month with that Mac. This month it's going to be pretty expensive. But also there's a piece of equipment that is $48,000. It was a mower that I charged to the general fund early in the year because they had not transferred the money at the end of the year over to that fund. So I will do a journal entry and switch that back. So actually our expenses look a little higher. I'll send that out tonight or in the morning. So you can look at it, but our expenses will actually come down about $100,000 from what that shows when I do the adjustments. So all in all, we're not bad. I have sent out an email to all staff, basically just saying, let's tighten things up. If you absolutely don't need it, let's lay back. Obviously we have to keep operating, but if it's something over, it's out of the norm, just give me a heads up before you make the purchase. Let's talk through it. Just to make sure we end the year strong. We've got the irrigation payment. We've got several things that we want to do. So I want to make sure we're still pushing money into those project funds to be able to do those things.
Net profit still looking well over $1 million.
Yeah. I think we're at, after the adjustments, we'll be at like 1.35 right now. End of the year, we typically go strong through the end of October, and November, December, crapshoot, so. Yeah. We did, for you, those of you that play here, last week, we came in at 5:45 in the morning, and the water fountain, the filter in the water fountain somehow cracked, and I don't understand why there's that much water pressure in a water fountain, but it was like fire hydrant shooting water. Unfortunately, that was about a $12,000 deal. We had to take all the baby, if you were here, you saw it. We had
Nice to put on your brand new carpet.
Yeah, perfect. We had all the dehumidifiers and the fans blowing. They did get it. They pulled up several tiles of carpet and they have a way that they check it to make sure it's all gone. But I think there's no mold, should be any issues going forward. But that was about 12. I think there were 2 companies. One got all the water out. The other one came and did all the.
How long did it go? How long do you think it went?
You can't tell it.
Some point to 5:45 in the morning. I don't know. Some point after we left. So from 10 p.m. sometime, but up to 5:45. Yeah, but yeah, so it's unfortunate. Spending that money just to get right back to where you were the day before is very frustrating when you don't improve it. I'll get that in a second, but yeah, and like I said, I didn't have time. I'll get the financials out either tonight or realistically probably in the morning. Okay, I can't access my computer. My computer's locked up and I have to take it to city hall, so it'll be in the morning. At some point in the morning.
All water fountains in our facilities are they on hand to get checked on a regular?
Yeah, through building maintenance, we change the filters ourselves. And even both of the companies that all their years doing it, they've never seen that happen. So it happens at all. That makes sense. Yeah.
On wireless detection where somebody would have got an alert
Yeah,
They're not that
I mean,
much,
I'm-
I'm saying.
I've got them in my house. You could probably get them with our security system. It's just a sensor goes to the floor. But
Yeah.
yeah, we could probably somewhere look into that. So I put Simply Safe Water. It's good. Yeah.
You have access to cameras too. If you were to get the alert, you could
You could like
Look
turn
at
it
it,
on.
yeah.
It's kind of hard to see water sometimes.
It was when the lights are out, it probably
In
would
the
have been.
right,
Yeah.
and then the rest of
Right.
the sea spraying out of there.
There would have been no cameras right on that water fountain, but you could look at all these, but I don't know if you'd be able to see it in the dark or not, but it would have been nice to come get a hold of that right when it started. No. Anyway. But yeah, I'll send, as soon as I can get access to my computer again, I'll send out the financials. Do you guys have any questions or anything about any of the finances on try this?
on the driving range, tax was way up. For me, that's the only place I'm involved, because I mean, mats are just, for me. I look like I should be on tour on a mat, and I'm not.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if that was there's a correlation there between tax being way up and Auburn being up a little bit, because it was 20,000 up.
Yeah,
I know.
Tex
I'm with
so much play.
I know they're coming to Tex.
Yeah, I think it's just there's so many people at Tex. Like when you go in, I
It's
don't
in
know.
great shape though, I mean, for what it's getting.
No, it definitely is, yeah.
I'm very happy with the turnout there.
Yeah, I played the front yesterday and it was, yeah.
But I mean, just the range though, I mean, as much as it
Oh, yeah.
gets, they have so much room to move it that,
That's the key, I think.
there's a lot of room to move
Look
it.
at deck there, they can.
Back, it's impossible. There's, 4 spots in here.
How often are you on the mats here?
This year's been a lot more because
Yeah.
just struggled coming out this year. We tried to oversee, actually just put more oversee done a few weeks ago.
Is that on the app? Is that something we could do where, because if I'm gonna play here, I'm gonna go to Tex first.
Put mats or no, if we're.
If we could, yeah, just, I know you're just accommodating me.
No, we could. So boy, I hope this don't come across as me trying to be like sneaky, but I don't want to deter people from coming here. So when I put it on the app, I just say driving range open
Yeah,
instead of driving range on mats.
right. I understand. I guess I can make a phone call, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot me a text.
Might be easier than me getting on the app anyway. Not that the app isn't easy, but.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I can't. If I want to feel good about myself, I'll go in on mats.
Yeah.
If I want to practice.
Okay. Any other questions about the financials and stuff?
Yeah, we'll go straight to.
Good to go, okay. Continuation of prior business, irrigation updates.
Yep, so I just want to give you a timeline. We have, as you all know, the projects for Auburn Hills and Tex in progress. RFP for the designer closed in June. We hired Les Hill Irrigation, been working with him. He did a site visit on early July or late June. Got the final, construction. So he did a preliminary design for us to go back and forth and tweak. And then he just last week sent the final construction design that we use in the RFP to put it out for bid. So meeting on Wednesday with a guy for purchase to format those RFPs. I've got most of it done, I think. Just want to make sure that all the way through that 75-page document, I've got everything in the right place. And then from there, we'll push to get that out pretty quick. We'll probably keep it open for 3 weeks. We'll have a pre-bid meeting on the same day. We're looking at probably doing one or the other at 9 in the morning, and then the other one at probably around 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That gives the companies, so if they're coming from out of town, they can come one day and do both. So we'll sit down with them at, say we get started Tex, we'll sit down with all the interested vendors, go over the project, answer questions, give them cards to go take a look at the place, and then we'll come here and do the same thing. That'll kick off the bid, and then it'll be open for 3 weeks for them to get their bids in. And our team with purchasing, along with Les Hill, will review all those bids and make sure that they're meeting the specifications that he laid out in the construction design. Once they close, we have a goal to have the vendor selected mid-September, mid to late September, with a goal to give them about 6 weeks. Right now is the turnaround time to get all the materials ordered, at least to get it started. So hopefully, ambitiously, a goal of getting the work started late November or December with completion of both courses at April. So when we put this out, one of the things is we're not going to, if one company wants to put a bid on both, they're going to have two separate project managers. I don't want one person trying to manage both jobs. It's too big a job. So I want someone dedicated to both places. So same company may end up getting both jobs, but they would have two separate teams, two separate project managers. So their focus is solely on whatever job they're at. Yeah, of course, the last step would be to celebrate. We don't have to do this again for 40 more years.
Amen.
So, yeah, this is a mess. It's a process, but I just kind of wanted to update you on the timeline of what's happened and where we're at in the process and what the goals are going forward. So,
So the RFP still look like the price is coming in around what we expected.
what's that?
The price is coming out where we expected.
That's, we won't know until it closes. So,
Is it price per head, basically?
yeah, with some variables, yeah. And unfortunately, the price of gas right now on that HDPE popping it's running the cost of that up now. I don't know. If you take the job as 100%, I don't know what percentage of that is the pop. I know it's a lot of it.
75% of it.
Yeah, that's, I was thinking 50 to 75. So it's unfortunately, that's going to run it up a little bit. We are going to bid it out. Just an ideal world. This is everything we want. And if it comes in higher, well, we've already kind of got a plan with both superintendents and Mr. Hill on how we can kind of tweak the bids, and let's remove this, let's take this out. So we kind of have our priorities, and if it comes in way over, let's remove these, let's tighten this up, whatever we need to do. So hopefully, I do expect they're going to come in probably a little bit more, but I think we kind of have a plan to make sure we get the coverage we need, but maybe not water 80 yards off the fairway. So
Is that gonna have to go back to council then if it comes in over and get permission from now?
no, it won't have to go to council. I'll have to have the plan on how we're going to pay for the overage.
Oh, okay.
That's it.
When you're all on us.
Yeah, whatever goes over again. So, yeah. But we did have, Matt came in 300,000 under, Sim came in like 250 under. So there's a little bit extra from those jobs, but that don't go very far.
Do the people they didn't know exactly what you were given them? I guess all they had to do was get on YouTube and basically what the total amount you were given by the council to do all four.
Yeah, like
They could look at it, yeah.
yeah, it'd be public record. Yeah.
Sim and Mac, the new systems, they said expected lifespan of 40.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. So the most of the problems were the pipes busting or whatever in this new HDPE as opposed to the old.
Yeah.
What do you call it? What do you call it? Why?
PVC?
PVC pipe. Yeah. Yeah. Totally different world. So. And in both of those courses, we have the Toro. It's called an infinity head. So it's actually in a contained box and the head is in that. So you don't have to dig around the head. You basically just dig the top of that box open and it's contained in there. Good and bad. It's really easy to replace if you need to. The bad part is it doesn't stay as warm in the winter. So you have to winterize it. If it looks like a bad winter, you got to winterize where we really didn't before. So, so good and bad, but so far so good.
So best case scenario is you would probably pay off the back irrigation and then just make payments on these last two? Or are you not thinking?
Yeah, I mean, it's all one lump sum. So we paid 400,000 this year. We were obligated to pay 128. So I mean, basically it depends on every year, where are we at financially? How much can we afford? But we have minimums we need to pay. But our head
I
is
thought it was the worst.
no, it's all one lump deal. So, I mean, yeah, ideally I'd like to get this paid off as quick as we possibly can. I think everybody would agree with that and just get it done and over with. But if it's a bad year or whatever happens, we may not be able to pay them.
Yeah, you gotta protect yourself. That's
Yeah.
Okay, any questions, comments on the irrigation? Good. That's okay. Next thing on the agenda, Blue Muta conversion and sim.
Yep, we're still on track for that September. Should have had this in front of me.
10th, 11th.
Not 10th, 11th, yeah, to do the, to put the seed down. He started all the herbicide application and all the prep work. He's gonna do some, verification to open it up. We had a consultant come out, and we're not gonna aerify greens at Sim. There's really hardly any thatch at all. The root system's strong. There's no problems there. So we're going to pull cores in the spring, but we're not gonna aerify. So we would normally be closed for, 2-3 days with sand on the greens where people don't like to play for a week or two. Now it's just gonna be, the fairways are gonna be extremely wet. Because we put that seed down, we have to keep it wet, obviously, and get it going. So there's gonna be about 10 days where we're looking at walking only, once we open back up, and then it'll be cart path only realistically for 2 or 3 weeks, because we're gonna need to keep that really wet. So, I know that's not ideal, especially in, getting into October when it's nice, but that's nature only gives us a small window each year to be successful.
Are these hot temperatures relevant to the germination of this? I mean, I know the Bermuda part, no, for sure, but
You wouldn't want to do it right now. So, yeah, that's why they say typically in this climate, for this, what we're doing, September is your window, starting second week of September typically is what they all recommend. And then, of course, you just hope it's not still 150 degrees at that point, but,
Is it an overseed or is it a kill?
no, it's an interseed. So you basically just interseed it with the Bermuda.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't. If you didn't have to keep it so wet, it really wouldn't matter. You could just keep playing, but we needed to take, so we had to keep it pretty wet.
And you just don't trust people on pass only from, yeah.
We're gonna keep it wet. Like, it's gonna be pretty soggy out there. Like when we did Tex, when we had the winter kill, we did that. I mean, we drowned that place to get that to take for about 10 days. So it's gonna be similar to that, unfortunately. But the thing about Sim too, it drains so fast, like we can soak it in 30 minutes. It's playable. So, yeah, there's gonna be some disruption, unfortunately, but I think the results are gonna be well worth it.
We're only seeing the fairways, right?
And T1.
So rather than cart paths only, is there a reason we couldn't do rough only, rough and carpet? No fairways, or we just don't trust people to do that?
Once you open it up, you open it up.
Well, I mean, Willow been did that
So-
for 5 years.
We had talked about doing, getting 1,000 miles of rope and roping it off that way where the carts couldn't get out there, but have walking in. We could do that. That's a ton of work for 10 days and a lot of money for 10 days.
Will it be too slow?
I was thinking-
Walk only.
It's gonna be precarious. I would almost think that it could be liable for somebody falling down and hurting themselves.
With the ropes.
Well, with the ropes or with just super sloppy. But they slip. I think having no people out there is best. Well, sure, but our revenue's gonna take a hit.
The reason I was asking is because for the 2 or 3 weeks that it's gonna be cart paths only, not the days it's gonna be walk only, but the days it's cart paths only. If we could allow them in the rough, I mean, it's gonna deter fewer people, is all I'm thinking. And like I say, Willabin did it for 5 years. They simply said you cannot drive on the fairway. And yeah, they had some people who did, but.
The other part, the sprinkler system, you can't really just hit the fairway, so it's gonna be wet.
Okay.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
the seed would just be in the fairway, but when you turn the sprinklers on, they're gonna hit that way.
Look
Yeah.
at ditches.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
We're gonna, even when we open, there's a lot of people that aren't gonna. You
Oh, yeah.
gotta walk.
A whole bunch of people in our ladies club won't come at all if it's cart paths only.
And we'll play by ear. We hope that we can get them open fairly quickly, but I don't want to spend 40 grand and just.
For sure.
So how's the Gophers been and say how much they taken care of now?
But they're never gonna be fully taken care of. We've got, he's done everything. He's worked with, whatever the organization is to, what's our best, how do we do this? How do we get rid of this, the wildlife, whatever people. So yeah, we've got bait and different things that we put in there, whatever they do. I don't know. He's worked with them to do everything we can do. So the,
When I get this seed in and find out the sprinklers are not working again.
hold on. I mean, I mean, we're doing what we can do. I don't know what,
Right now,
It's
we're
either do-
taking care of it. All the lines are running fine.
yeah, we did have so at Botanica, they had a huge power surge, Friday or maybe Thursday of last week, and everything went berserk. We thought we lost the pump house. We thought that the computers in the clubhouse were going, because it was a huge surge. Everything popped, and then it was like 30% power, so everything was not working correctly. Computers were going on and off. I thought everything got fried, and that was clubhouse irrigation, the maintenance, the irrigation, everything. But Evergy spent 2 days turning the power off and back on and off and back on. But it seems like everything's working fine now. So
And this was Thursday and Friday.
yeah,
We were there Friday for team play and everything seemed okay.
Okay.
I mean,
I
from
think
what we see.
it was Thursday and Friday. It was Thursday and Friday. They shut it down from 3:30 to 5:30.
We would be long gone by
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So,
It can, even transformers and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of things, but do not like this heat.
but yeah, I mean, to your point, we're doing all we can over there with the Gophers and
That was the hottest place in the nation that day, matter of fact. Which is always
Thursday.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I was in Vegas last week. The first day we teed off was 118. I didn't know that would exist. That was unreal. But yeah, we have had a lot of lightning strikes. Seems like when it rains, it hits there. So we're working with Toro right now to find a better way to ground that. Really the pump house on Hammond seems to get hit a lot for some reason. I don't know how that works, but
I got a lightning arrestor on it.
what's that?
A lightning rod on it to keep it from hitting the pump station.
There is some reason Toro, they're actually coming out Wednesday, I believe, and they wanted to look at it before we did that. They said that could also go sideways. So I don't, that's definitely not my fault. So I don't know. They're gonna look at that, but there's fuses in that system. We've replaced probably, I'm not kidding you, probably 75 fuses since we've had it, because it luckily it blows those and the system's okay. But I just ordered like 200 of those until we can figure it out, because it happens a lot. So it's an easy fix, but when it first started happening, we had no idea what was going on, and we finally realized how to fix it pretty quick. But we got to come up with something better than that. So
Anything else on the Bermuda conversion? No. Okay. New items for consideration, plan for carts in 2027.
I put that on here. We talked about, we're nearing what are we at, 4th year of our lease with these carts. We have the option, if we decided to, or we could roll it over early. Of course, it would cost more with the next lease as we roll over the rest of this into that one. So I just wanted to maybe bring it up today and come up with a plan where maybe we, over the next month, maybe look at if you guys want it on your own, or we set up a time to do it together. We kind of do an evaluation of the carts and just kind of get opinions on whether we think we want to do that, or we want to go ahead and roll it. We could do it at any time. We don't have to do it like on the year anniversary, but just kind of get an idea and a plan. Of course, we want to get well ahead of that when the lease is up. We don't want to wait until the day it ends and then, what do you want to do? So, I don't know how you guys would prefer to do that, but you can kind of take the lead on that. But
So you're saying we have one more year, like it's a 5-year lease, and this is the 4th year? Okay.
you can roll it early. But like I said,
What's the penalty?
whatever's left in the lease would roll into the next lease. So it would be whatever we would owe for that year would roll into the next lease. So there's a little different math involved, but it would make our payments more on the next lease because of that.
Yeah, that's very interesting. Yourself, very bad right there. We should try to do it, but yeah, I haven't seen anything massively egregious with any, except that when it's really hot in my hands still, because
Well, I think those seats get really hot too.
Okay, yeah, all us ladies put our little towels in.
Yeah, yeah. I'll tell you my opinion. I'll be very honest. I'd like to hold off until we have to. I don't want to spend that money. And I don't think they're in that bad shape. We do have brand new seats for every single cart that we have. So there was a recall that we haven't had any issues with, but Yamaha sent it.
Good.
We have
Well, let's milk it as long as we can. then.
300 seats. Yeah. And they said, do you want to replace them? And I went and looked around. We replaced a couple, but for the most part, there was nothing wrong. So let's save them and.
So if on a real individual basis, if there's a card like we get, I had one last week that the brake was weird and you had to really whomp it to get it to go. And the brake popped and then all of a sudden you went from 0 to 50. You know? I mean, it was, is that a prevalent problem? Is that something we fix in house?
I
Is
think that
that?
that's something that you do
Yeah.
to your local person there, because they do have
Well,
meetings.
I know I would tell, what I'm asking, this is something we can fix in house.
Yeah, and we have the company comes every other week to every course. So we have a lot more. We write anytime there's a problem. So when he comes, the first thing he does is he knocks off what we have in that lot board, and then he goes through the fleet. So yeah, if they're pleased, if there's an issue you have with the cart, let staff know so we can put it on there.
Sure.
And typically there's a different system at each course, but we'll park them facing in instead of facing out, don't pull those out. If there's something wrong, and they're great about fixing them. Like there's never a cart down one.
Well, given that, then I don't see any reason to rush into making a change.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Has there been comments from people or maintenance?
Trust me, the women would be the first ones to tell you if stuff went right.
She said it.
On that, if they're tough. The only thing they don't like is that a lot of them that are little towels don't fit over both of them. It's true, you go girl. Just saying, next time you order, just get a little smaller armrest.
Sounds like a good business opportunity with Michael or
Yeah,
order in some towels.
there it is.
Yeah.
Now you're talking.
Is putting sand on the carts, is that just something that's just people aren't doing?
They get stolen here, unfortunately. Yeah. Now,
That's what?
I get stolen. We haven't done it since I've been here. They said they had it here at one point and they released only 20 a day.
Why can't you charge
I have no idea what they do with those things, but
why can't you charge the renters? I mean.
I don't think we want to know.
yeah, and then they're gonna say, I parked the cart back here. I don't know what happened after I walked away. Maybe
Yeah, exactly.
you can
Put them on,
crowd, they're gonna deny it.
You know,
put them on a chain, Jesse.
What's that?
Put them on a chain.
I guess a lot of
So
things
zip tie things like, yeah. Yeah.
Retractable chain on there.
Near the divot, because you're.
We'll put flock cameras on them.
That's.
How was that?
Turn them in at the end of the round.
Huh?
Have them turn them in at the end of the round. So you're responsible. for it.
That's just-
Get charged.
Well, that's.
Sounds easy. That's,
People do it.
Well, they get charged, dude.
I know, exactly.
I mean, that Bermuda is always it walks back over that divot pretty quick.
Yeah.
That's the only blessing.
The next fleet, I really want to explore putting GPS on there so we have control of what's going on in the course from in here. It's about $20. It's about $20 a month per cart, but that's one rental per month. Basically pays for the GPS.
But we did it,
Since we don't have marshals,
and because it's not the one with obviously those are sweet, but it's just the tracker and it's been huge.
That allows you to keep it on.
did you do third party or your fleet came with it? Like you got it with the fleet?
That really could help figure out who the slow group is too. If you got
Well, what kind of problems did it solve?
You can shut down the cart.
Yeah, it keeps them on the cart path.
And honestly, just like having the tracking history, seeing your
see slow groups too, right away.
Okay.
If somebody reels back, 3 get behind or 2
If you-
behind.
that and from just a course maintenance, it's huge. It's been huge.
So all the problems we have with people driving around the green, it would shut off and they'd have to back up.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
That'd be huge. Yeah, that's my
Yeah,
main thing. So
So it'd be tricky here, but if it's cart path only, you get set the geo fence. So if they leave the path, it'll.
Well, you automatically have one around the green, like 40 yards or whatever outside the green, right? I mean, I've played a lot of courses where if I get too close, it just basically
So it
stops.
just has a tag, doesn't have the screen.
It's Been
It's pretty
well
cool.
worth it.
That was well worth it.
Mainly, especially for like park courses, the around the greens.
Yeah.
And the par threes
Yeah.
are huge.
Yeah.
Cause then, like you said, you don't even have to have a marshal. It just,
And when somebody calls and, hey, the group in front of us slow, you can look and you can say, no, there's 7 groups in front of them. They're back there. Or
It
you
gives
can,
them the ability to.
Yeah.
Go right out there and nip it in the butt, you know,
yeah.
or like it's just backed up, guys.
And you can, well, with the ones with the screen, you can look on the screen and be like, man, that group is 4 holes behind. You can send them a message.
Yeah.
Say, hey, you need to pick up pace.
So yours it doesn't have the ability to send out a message to a car or anything like that?
no, there's no screen like it's, it's just,
Tracking, basically.
At least you know where it's
So that
from.
would include the GPS for yardage and everything, the 20 per car. Or two.
What I was thinking would, and what I kind of like
Yeah.
what he's talking
Yeah,
about.
it's, I've seen,
It
if I
might be-
remember, it's a.
Maybe quite a bit, yeah.
For
And
the little.
when I say 20, that was,
That was just GPS.
well, that was a while ago. So yeah, it's probably more than that now.
But you got leverage, you got 4 horses, you might have some leverage on the pricing.
Yeah, all has about 40,000 coaches. Now, yeah, I don't know. I definitely want to get, look into that real serious, Also, this
That helps pace the play, everything.
off topic, but there was a guy, I don't know what course he was at. I saw it online. He sent his buddies were playing. He sent a message from the pro shop and said this card has reached its weight limit, something, and he accidentally sent it to the women's league. Yeah. So I'll do some staff training is my point. Oh, no. So, yeah, so I don't know if you want to even look at them or if we just keep tracking it through conversation every other meeting or something and,
Santa Monica.
yeah.
Yeah. I think at least I'm in to see just these ones and the ones at Tex.
Yeah.
We were at Tex last week and they all look in good shape too. These look in pretty good shape.
Yeah.
See some of the tires look maybe a little worn down, but I'm sure they take care of those as that happens.
He actually just brought each course, 20 or around 20 tires too. I just didn't know, since we have tires we need to change. So, yeah.
I mean, I guess unless you could leverage or work out some sort of deal on the GPS tracking cards.
To go a year early for a better deal.
I'm gonna call him. I'm gonna call him. I'm just gonna get all the info. I'll bring it back to the next meeting.
Yes.
That's gonna be hard to.
Yeah, for sure.
Eat that and in the lease or but yeah, I'll see what we can do. I'll bring it back next month.
How many cars do we have of all 4 horses?
That's different. 72 here, 75 at Tex, 65 at Sim and 70 at Mac, I think.
So almost 300.
Yeah, it's like 286, I think. I don't know, that's 3.5 years ago, something like
That's
that.
pretty good. You're young to get it. You said that off the top of your head.
Hope nobody watches this and it adds those numbers up, 'cause it's not gonna be 2x6.
Okay, we go on carts. Pretty good. 5-year CIP progress and update.
Yeah, I just kind of wanted to, this board, we put together kind of that 5-year plan 3 years ago. We've got some new members and I just wanted to kind of show you guys what we've done.
You want that Excel
sheet? Yeah. We put together a kind of a plan of capital needs when I first got here. The board was first formed. So go back to the bottom tab 23. So when we started, so everything in the green are things that we have done. So you can go through, we kind of laid it out by year, what we wanted to do in the heating bays, club out, like so forth, so on. It's got the course and the benefit and kind of different things, but in the cost. So looking here, buying mowers. Now we've done a lot more than what's on the sheet, but we haven't really touched on this, but I just wanted to bring it up to show you all that we've done a lot of these things. So if you look at 2023, we did most of that. The new gate on the back for cart storage, we put a new sensor and a new locking device. We not changed the gate, but we're about to pave that area. Right now it's rock back there and it's finally washed away. Like when it rains, it's a mess back there. So we're gonna, concrete was actually cheaper than asphalt, I guess, because of gas prices. That surprised me. So we're gonna put concrete back there. And a new gate will be part of that. So that's coming pretty soon. So go to 24, please. So all of the different things that we had equipment purchases and projects and different things that we wanted to do in 24 that we knocked out. Oh, let's scroll up. 24 is a good year. All right, hold on a second. We did buy the Hustler. We did not add the rain dispenser. We kind of changed our mind there on both of those. We've not done that AC replacement, but we did kind of rebuild it. And then the driving range mats we're looking at doing as part of the irrigation system. So
So the greens and things that we've done and the done.
yeah. Sorry, I didn't see that up top. So then 25, and there's, like I said, there's a lot of things that have popped up that we had to react and do that we've done. That's not on this, but just looking at that first thing that we did. Bridge repair, we're still looking at that here for the fall. The fairway air fryer we got, but we share it now, so we didn't need both of those. So I've done most of that stuff. All right, go to 26. We did get the cars, we got the sprayer, we did the bunker renovation, and then the old shop building it back, we haven't done that yet. We don't use it that much right now because it's in such bad shape. If we had it, we would use it more, but it's not really a necessity. So we really haven't done anything there. And I kind of want to get, we all know Ron's going to retire probably end of this year, first part of next year. So I'd like to get the new person in and kind of get their idea on how they want to set the shop up before I do any of that. So I'm kind of held off on that. And then if you even look at 27, 28, 28. We actually did buy Greensboro back. I've now highlighted that. And then text the driving range, reshape and add the drainage and irrigation, the targets. We're looking at hopefully trying to do that this winter. And then look at 28. So that's okay. We went out 5 years, but it's hard to do with equipment. But really those first 3 years, I just wanted to bring this back up because we really haven't looked at this in over a year and just kind of put it in as a visual of what all we have done. We've bought several more pieces of equipment. If we don't have something up here and then something explodes and we have to react and get something. So there's been a lot more, but I think the plan that we all laid out was pretty beneficial for like 22, 24. And we've been able to knock out a lot of the things because of some of the moves we made. So I'm pretty happy with the progress that we made here. It's a never ending list. And this winter, I want to kind of recreate this and start over with a new 5-year plan.
I was gonna say after 2027, especially if you get these two big irrigation jobs done and the reseeding is in, I think then we need to almost start over again.
Yeah.
And go back to 2023 and look at how many things were on that list and make sure we get that many on a new list.
Yep, I agree. And if, when I first got here, when this board first put together, our equipment was a disaster. I mean, we didn't have anything that worked, to be honest with you. It barely worked, but we've replaced a ton of our equipment. We're in a decent place there. We brought on Jason, the mechanic, who's a genius. So that part of things is of the operation has gotten way, way better. I would eventually like to look at a lease. We were in a weird spot there where as we started buying new equipment and they start looking at a possible lease of the main equipment, the fairway mowers, rough mowers, greens mowers. When you just bought 7 new mowers, it's hard how do we convert to that lease? And even talking with the companies, they have ways to do it, but you don't come out great either way. So as we get with some of this newer equipment starts to get old, I would like to look at the possibility of that. But anyway, with the projects and stuff that we had up here, the equipment that we've done, I feel like we've came a long, long way in 4 years, and it'll be a lot more fun, I think, this time around to create this list and start working on the next 5 years. It'll be more. My goal is to get this list where it's more wants and not absolute necessity needs, because we're struggling.
Do you have a desire to start going to or see the autonomous stuff or?
Yeah.
I can see that. That's 27 goal.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one that we made in 2030 or whatever. So Yeah, I didn't change it because I wanted to show the exact list we and what we've done. So, yeah, no, autonomous is still want to push for that.
Yeah, one of the guys was telling me about, he played back the other day, I guess, and we saw the one area where it had these nice lines
Yeah.
and stuff, and we said, God, that looks good.
Yeah.
That really, really looks good.
Yep. No, their greenskeeper made a post. He said employees of the month, and he put both of the mowers in a picture.
Taking days off, and it's always sick.
Aren't the greens stressing at Mac right now?
The hot spots are. Yeah, there's those hot spots always do, but I mean, they're not, honestly, I would expect them to be a little worse just from what I've seen in a lot better conditions.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of the hot spots are full stress. Obviously. So, yeah, that's all I think, this winter we can probably maybe next meeting or October meeting, or maybe even put together a workshop where we can just workshop the 5-year kind of CIP and project plan. So I'd love to get that on a calendar,
Yeah.
get that in place.
How much of a hassle is it for Ron to take these autonomous motors out to a spot, start them, let them do their deal, and then go pick them back up, back into the shop? Is
Unless
that,
you get the area marked and you create a zone. And he's got a trailer they fit directly on, he puts it on the back of the workman truck, drives out and sets it down, go. That takes up, then he comes back when it's done, moves it to the next. It's super easy, super easy.
is it notified when it's done with an area?
Yeah, if there's any issue, it'll say, I'm stuck, I'm whatever, you know, if there's anything out of the norm, then when it's done, it'll let you know.
That reflection, don't they they stay out all the time? Don't they?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I think he's got 22 now. I think's what I heard.
They eliminated all that somewhere else.
Do they have little docking stations out somewhere where they just go with dock in? and
Yeah,
Recharge?
I don't know where they're at. I haven't seen one, but they have to.
Okay. One's actually.
Yeah, they, when the first time I was there this year to play, I don't know, it was back in the spring, and yeah, it looked awesome. Yeah, they're more cool with their the heat's hitting them pretty hard right now, but they, yeah, first time I played out there and everything was striped, and it was, you stand on a tee box and like, geez, you know, it's perfect. Yeah, the one we have at Mac, the only issue with it is if you get under a tree directly and it loses signal, it just kind of freaks out. It just starts going, so I don't know what to do. So, the areas we have at Mac are pretty open, so it does a good job. He's probably got 5 or 6 zones now marked out that he does, and it does fantastic.
I know Seth's not crazy about it, but, or Darren and,
They're all for you. Jeremy, I mean, they all have their different way. Jeremy's definitely, he's all for what's coming down the pipeline, what's next, let's stay ahead of the game. So he would be very receptive. Tex would be great because it's wide open out there.
Yeah.
It's wide open.
that would be the best place.
It would be, and there's no houses and people aren't out there, so that would definitely be the easiest.
As long as the deer don't eat it.
Seth, he's got his system done. He does a heck of a job. He's got his guys that come in, they mow rows off, they're done. He don't want to change what's working. That's his thing. I get it. I get that.
How is this shame?
How is staffing?
Maintenance is not bad this year. That's much better. Yeah, we here we hired a large group of younger kids and it was great, except for there's only so many things they can do. They can't get on the bigger equipment. It became almost spending all of his time trying to manage the people instead of doing the job. So he backed the wheels back and finding that balance. But we have picked up a couple of really good people in the last couple of weeks. I'm excited to bring on. So
How often do they get the grass out of the bunkers out here?
yes, Saturday when I played, I saw several that had it. So I don't know. I'm going to talk to
This is the feedback.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I don't know.
They look great at Texas.
It's not it's a pretty quick fix too. So
Exactly. Yeah, hard. Yeah.
I saw them, I think it was Friday or Saturday. Might have been, it was Friday at Tex. They had a crew out there getting, going around the bunkers and getting the grass out.
Is that just usually sprayed or is it usually?
Yeah, I mean, if it's runners coming from the
Yeah.
bank, you come up, but yeah, they're coming in the middle of the bunker, you spray.
They had a shovel, and was cutting around the whole bunker and cleaning it up, making it look clean out at Tex.
He did a really good job at the first of the year. I hear he went and cleaned them all up and got them, but I think what you're talking, I saw it's coming up in the middle of the bunker.
Yes.
I think 18, there's
Yeah.
some on that left fairway bumper. I saw it a few different places.
Is that typical? Just, is the sand getting low too? Or is it time for some more sand or is it sand?
Yeah, but that's a constant.
I haven't played out here, so.
So it's a constant fight, yeah. It hadn't been as windy in the last couple of months, so not as much, but yeah. We could throw some sand in, but it needs to spray that out.
Right.
It's, it is something.
Right now, it'll just be a decimal.
You don't want to grow through this table somehow, but
Yeah.
grass you want to grow, you can't get it. Yeah, no, we'll talk about that. He has had a lot of homeowners lately that have been very needy out here. I mean, every day I've got a city council person calling me saying, hey, I got this email, can you look into it? It's some of it's legit, some of it is.
What's just where it goes all the way to their property line or is it just a bunch of?
They look out and they don't want that there's a limb.
Oh.
Or it's just, yeah, it's all over the place. So a lot of the pond banks, they don't. And when you talk to them, everybody's been super nice, but the pond banks, the trees that are growing in there, basically the roots are what's holding those banks.
Yeah.
They want all that to remove.
Coming on night.
Until we figure out how we're gonna spend $1 billion to shore that up, we can't do it. We just have to keep cutting down, so. And once you talk to everybody, they're normally pretty good, but this bank out here, to the left of 10 T-box on the house side, they wanted that mowed. I mean, it was like this tall. Anyway.
Do they have any, I mean, other than complaining, or do they have any, it just, you have to hear it, that's what it is. They get hold of JB or whatever.
Yeah, and then of course the council person don't,
I guess Dalton is out here, I think.
don't, yeah. But yeah.
Hey, right.
Should be sold.
But then with membership,
I'll never complain.
if someone can't get a T-tone, they'll reach out to whoever their council person. So I don't know, probably 5 or 6 different things every week. I'm responding back and forth with the council. That's expected. It is what it is, but
Dalton's too, of course.
yeah, here in Texas. Yeah. And then, Shepherd is Mac and Maggie is Sim.
Have we looked any more into, like, when you were talking about how that creek is washing away on 7 out there, about planting something in there that the root system helps? I'm not treating, but just, there's other things that I'm pretty sure you can plant that helps stabilize that so you don't get washed away or whatever. The erosion.
What's up?
The big tall buffalo grass is the only thing that I can think of. It bursts in Lincoln's prairie.
It's close to that path though.
It's close, yeah.
So you gonna have to make some sort of move soon, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I thought. If we could store it up and stop it.
Really keep rolling in, because this is like a sand pit out.
Yeah.
We can have to put rock everywhere that you can. I don't think you're gonna put grass in there that's going your banks.
If you go behind the green, that's gonna be flooded all the time after that. You mentioned that last time, I just about possibly taking that path around the back.
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty wet back there as it is. You know. I'm not looking forward to walking all the way around that hole. I'm gonna call him Bill.
I did get a price on a prefab walking bridge, basically that just covers, and it was $32,000.
What'd you think of that?
It was cheaper than the cart bridge.
Yeah.
Somehow. I don't get that.
Okay. And you'll just stay so far away from the creek that
It
won't affect anything.
Yeah, okay, but it's almost like a bridge in a box. So they send it to you with the instructions and then
Oh, yeah.
I'm not Our golf staff is not doing that.
Right.
So,
That sounds pretty.
yeah, and the guy plays it off like, no, it's simple. Anybody can do it. I'll do bridges. But, he said he could get with a local contractor or some, find somebody, but now that money, that's another $5,000 or whatever.
Wonder what it would cost to have it bid for like a steel fabrication company to basically put it together, put it out there.
I mean, I'd have to work with stormwater to make sure I'm not doing anything.
Well, I mean, if you stay,
But-
like I said, if you
Yeah.
stay 10 feet on where it is currently, if you go out further and you're not affecting any of the floodplain area,
Yeah,
you're actually making it better.
need to get someone from stormwater to tell me what, like, if we left the ground here and connected back here, how far out do we need to be? I guess that's how you would determine that.
Yeah.
Really?
Shoot it,
Okay.
shoot your regulations.
Okay. Yeah.
My buddy owns a steel fabrication company on that. Those ideas, see what it costs. What he bought.
Max, my
You have to take
Huh?
pylons down.
name Max.
No, okay, Mark Global. He's a
Underneath.
Yeah, I'd love
Is
to
it-
come out and take a look.
Yeah, still be
At least
clay or.
You're looking at.
I mean, it might just come out here on a truck and just put, it might be two pieces if it's like a welder maybe, but.
Yeah.
Or it might just, I don't know.
Doesn't seem-
And it's just gonna support walk, right? So
Mhm.
I don't know what pound number that would be, but that'd last a long time. Powder coated.
89 bedrock.
Make a lot of people happy. Yeah. Bridges.
Yeah.
Yeah,
A lot of people.
I mean, I don't think it's enough to make people rent a car, but it definitely is gonna slow play up. That's where things get backed up already.
Yeah.
But that's usually when they have too many people looking for a golf ball now.
That long's dry right now. You can just walk across there.
there you go.
Just throw your club.
You used to be able to walk, you used to be able to go from the hole before, from 6 or 5. Used to be able to just cross that creek. Be a good jump 3 feet with that on your back. But that's, I've done it many a time. It's a long walk around that by the bathrooms
I
too.
would put a deer cam up just to watch that.
Well-
I've been playing in my office, just watching.
I'm talking about 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't all grown, all that wasn't grown up as much.
I remember when they first opened this course, people wanting some kind of a walk through a bridge or something at that corner to rather than have to go back by the bathroom.
Yeah.
People just don't realize the cost of those things. Bridges are expensive.
Yeah.
The liability that comes with it. You can't just throw a couple of pallets down
Right.
and step across.
Yeah, that does remind me, that bridge between 5 and 6. Is it getting in pretty bad shape? I was crossing it. I didn't realize that on the east side, it you got almost catch air off of that.
Here, 5 and 6.
Yeah.
They're pretty rough.
Before it
Yeah,
all went up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
on the back side of it, I was coming across it in front of us, fine on the east side. I
Pretty
thought,
much
yeah.
every bridge on that side needs to be.
You're not supposed to floor it.
We're,
Well, yeah.
so Darren has had 2 companies come out and he's trying to find a third. We haven't got their quotes back, but just, if we just replace the wood, the top, we had an engineer come out, the base of every bridge is okay. It's just the wood is all bad. So just to replace all the wood, what would that cost? And we're waiting on those quotes to get back. So, and I have no idea what to expect.
You can't do that in-house.
It's pretty high.
It's a pretty, when you get out there and stand there, it's a pretty big job that we're not carpenters. You know, I don't know. I mean,
Yeah, but on that east side, I mean, if you don't know if it's coming up, it's horrible parts.
yeah.
I mean, I was putting flooring it. Boy, I tell you what, I had.
Well, from what I understand, you're stuck to the seat anyway, so you don't want.
I didn't need my chiropractor appointment.
Yeah.
Yeah, something needs to be done with that, just, somehow it needs to be smoothed out, because it did really bad. They can do that asphalt stuff where they put it out there and stamp it down, try to level it out. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
5F6 Auburn.
The quick fix, but it saves the cars. Yeah. Go. Okay. What do we have next? Course updates.
Just got a couple. We started the ceiling fix at Auburn or at Sim today. And in the ladies' bathroom, there's a hole in the ceiling from where the air conditioner had leaked. The leak is fixed now. he came today. I haven't heard from Kent, but they were supposed to patch it, tape it, and then they're gonna come back tomorrow and paint it, and it should be good to go by the end of the day tomorrow. So that's being fixed. The siding here is scheduled. I don't know if I said this last time, but it's scheduled for probably later in September, possibly early October. That's all done, ready to go. Oh, what? The number 6 at Tex, if you've played lately, on the right-hand side, there's a giant hole where there's a big drainage pipe that runs basically from Tyler across, and then it has a T and then goes over to the pond to the left of 6. That pipe had basically rusted out. So when we get a big rain, the water rushes there and pulled dirt and just created a giant sinkhole. The city came out and tried to patch part of it. It didn't work at all. So we rained the next day and a giant hole formed again. So we're looking at, we got a quote for 24,000, and that's on us. That pipe is part of the problem. So once it comes off of that main line, it's up to us. So 24,000, but otherwise we're gonna just continuously have a giant hole, and it's 3 feet from the cart path. So we've got it roped off, but it could easily be a major safety hazard. So we're looking at using some of the grounds fund project money to cover that, but I don't think we have a choice. It's unfortunately has to be done. There's not much. I mean, we've talked about most of the things going on. So, and once we get probably October, I'll have staff here for a meeting and they can give updates and answer questions. There's so much going on, they can't get away. So,
Is there any update on the price that they charge us for the water?
it's gonna go up. It's $9.50 or whatever now. They're expected in 3 years, it'll be $13. So I don't see any.
Am I gonna give us a break?
It's talk to you about that after this. You got a couple minutes. Okay. Oh, we get political stuff on this, but we know where the water, all the controversy with the water department, the water plant and all that. I don't see them doing anything to cut money coming their way. So
We just gotta get that other pond built, right?
that's, yeah.
Yeah.
They're talking about building on too. Are they? Yeah. That would be. Love to see what their water bill looks like. They were bigger. Well, WCC, their water bill for the year before last was bigger than a lot of the towns are. Yeah. Like I'm not kidding, they were like 13th on the list of biggest water users. It's a lot. And that was when they did that, when they redid the renovation and all that, but yeah.
We put a higher dam on that creek right at 9 to hold more water. I watched so much water go under there when it was getting good rain. It was like, dang.
Okay, yeah.
You gotta look at the whole LiDAR, of the whole thing. You gotta have somebody. You can't just raise up one, you gotta look at everything. Yeah.
So you direct that, or that's.
I would think of all this and I would, that's mine, which have been. part of there.
I mean, yeah. I totally agree with you. When they did that at Tallgrass a whole bunch of years ago. And it didn't cause too much problems. But yeah, it needs to be looked at.
Yeah, they just did, right before I started, they did a lot of work. They built, like, dug that out and made that pond a little bigger, and it holds a lot more than it used to. I never saw it before, so I don't know what it was like before, but I know they just finished that when the same time they did the bridges up back, when they redid 21 or 22 probably. So they've done something to increase the water that they can hold, but I think that other pond, I mean, if we would have had that other pond, we would probably just now be going on city water. I think that would be the difference, where we've been on it for 5 weeks, 6 weeks now. So you have years like this, and they would pay for itself weekly, very quick, and they'd be happy that we're not using that water. So
You said that sprinkler head on 5 at Sam was back ordered. Do we know if that's come in yet?
do not, he's, that's what your first part.
You said next week and that's this week, so.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure that ahead, they got messed up in the park. They needed was back ordered, so there's a wet spot out there. He's got it roped off, so.
It just happens to be where my ball lands about half.
That's hilarious. Stay your swing, girl.
Game left, there's a thought, you know?
Somehow you're bringing it all.
Okay, last thing is marketing and customer service updates.
I don't have a bunch, actually pretty short list of what's on marketing for the rest of the year. So we have our Beauties and Beasts fundraising tournament that's gonna be in October. We just kind of started the concept and graphics and dates for our golf guide. So we're gonna start working on that over the next few weeks. Already kind of hit on the Arthur B. Sim fairway reseeding. Going to, make sure that the public knows what's going on to the best of our ability, communicate through our social media, so our apps, stuff like that. And then another one we kind of already talked about, but helping with the cash list in 2027 and making sure all that gets to the public as best as we can. But that's pretty much all I've got for marketing for the rest of the year, 26.
Other than Ladies' Day, for me, I wasn't here at the last golf board. I've had 4 orientations since I've seen you guys. I think it was around it's 9 to 11 new hires, and everybody's been great. Been impressed. That's it for me.
We have brought on some really good people in the last few weeks. Some have started, some are yet to start, but it's good. There for a while, we couldn't find anyone except for kids in the summer. We've been lucky the last few weeks, I think, and I think it'll pay off. So it's good. It's really good to have someone that you can trust, walk away, go handle business that needs to be handled, not have to stand there and wait for the next issue. So it's good.
I think this winter, maybe would get slower. Those water, that may be one of the worst station. I talked about it last week. Out here on the back on it, just put some.
I didn't say what.
Water station.
Water station.
Yeah, maybe just take out the water fountains and do those or something, maybe, or.
Yeah,
Because those are pretty worn out, the water fountains, aren't they? Kind of
that's part of your cap. Yeah. Yeah.
just eliminate them.
Yeah. 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 we can do that.
Anything else? Comments, questions, concerns? Nothing? Then, I guess we will have a meeting and get together again in a month.
Let's put it on the email, but if there's anything you guys want to add to the agenda ever, anytime, just send it to me and I'll make sure it's on there for the next month. Thanks, Jesse.
Thanks, guys. Have a good evening.
Yes.
Take care.
Pretty good.